The CJ Howard Show. Now let's go to CJ Howard. A early happy Thanksgiving to all, and welcome to another episode of the CJ Howard Talk Show. We are live from Hazard, Kentucky in my apartment as we get you ready for another week of sports. A big week, but we just got out of probably the wildest 3 days of high school football, college football, NFL, you name it. It has been crazy. College basketball, we've seen some major upsets. It's been crazy. And we're here to talk all about it here today on the show. You can see us live on my Facebook page. You can also see us live on the CJ Howard Show page. You can see us live on the D&D Sports Network. Also, you can see us live on YouTube. Check us out over there as well. We've got a great co-host, one of my favorites, and then we've got a great guest list tonight. Our first guest tonight is going to be Chris Sayers, the Mercer County girls basketball coach. He had some computer problems last week. Hopefully, he got those settled, and he can be back with us this week. So we'll hopefully get that accomplished as well. Also, Charlie Pax will be with us at 8:30, the Kentucky Christian University men's basketball coach. We'll talk to him about life in the NAIA and how he's been doing. Charlie's a great friend of mine and a great friend of a lot of people in Eastern Kentucky. John Bentley's going to be with me at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk with John about the family, about his new gig at East Jessamine, and things he's been doing and get ready for the season. Then we're going to talk to Armando at 9:30. We'll hope to talk with him about the remaining mountain teams we have left in the state and everything that went on this past weekend, which was crazy. My co-host this week, you know him well. He's the man behind the camera. He's the man behind the mic. He's the man behind anything at D&D Sports. And I do want to apologize real quickly. I'm being told that we're not streaming on the D&D Sports Network tonight. There is a problem. I do not want to know what that is, so I have to figure it out. So I apologize.
Job, CJ. Let me figure it out real quick.
We are on Facebook and YouTube for right now, till I can figure out what the problem is. I think something popped up there a moment ago, and but my co-host, he is the man at D&D Sports. He is the man everywhere. This man's very busy because besides D&D, he has a very important job that he does for these schools. And nobody understands what he goes through, travel he has to do. So, yeah, he's a busy man. Thomas Rainey with me. Thomas, good to have you with us.
Hey, CJ, glad to be here, man. I tell you what, Facebook is doing some wonky stuff. I mean, we ran into this all day yesterday. They are limited right now to one stream, so we have another show that's going on. So the minute they end, we'll pop live on D&D. I don't know. We've got to reach out. That's the joy of Facebook. You don't know who to talk to. You know, it's not like the good old days when you pick the phone up and talk to somebody. But we're supposed to be able to have 5 simultaneous streams. But right now, it's only limiting us to one. And we've seen that from a couple other companies across that cover sports as well. So it's not just us. Yeah. But hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm super excited. Get to talk a lot about sports, and what a weekend we had, CJ.
Let's start with the most thing that I think everybody's still talking about. Let's go back to Friday night. And it's not a mountain thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about something that happened that I don't think a lot of people – well, listen, and I say this out loud, and somebody's going to say, well, no, you never said that. No, you didn't believe that. Listen, I really did think Covington Catholic could beat Boyle. Yeah. I thought Covington Catholic had the defense. The thing I was concerned with was, could Covington Catholic match them point to point? If they tried that, they didn't have a chance. The thing that really helped them, though, they jumped out early. They got the lead. They forced Boyle to come from behind, and then it was tip for tap the rest of the way. and I think it really hurt. It hurt Bull in the end. And if you did not see this game, shame on you, because actually every game was telecast on different ways. You could have watched it on YouTube and everything. Me and my brothers were together Friday night. We watched 7 different games.
Yeah,
and it was cool because some different. Mostly these games come from the NFHA network.
Yeah.
They cover about every game. So the less games you have, the more they can cover.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Covington Catholic going to Bullock County, beating the Rebels, breaking their now. I tried to look this up today, and I thought I got the correct number. They had not lost a game in Kentucky since 2000. Total.
Yeah.
They had won 3 state titles, and Justin had never lost to a Kentucky school since 2000.
Yeah.
He's only lost like 3 games total in Bullock County history. So this makes it even more. And if you didn't see the play that won the game for Covington Catholic, I think maybe KYT maybe had a highlight of it. You can probably see it on maybe some YouTube, maybe some other places. But it was a great play. What it was the UK commit, the Quisenberry kid was running a quarterback draw, going into go ahead score, and there would have been probably about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. Covington Catholic still had 3 timeouts too. But as he's running, he breaks loose. He's at the 5. He's at the 10. He's 5. A Covington Catholic player comes in from behind, pokes the ball out. The ball goes through the end zone and goes out the back. Officials meet. There was only one call they could make here, and it was a touchback. If they made any other call, it was going to be incorrect. They said, yes, that was the correct call. This is a touchback. They touched it back, and then Covington Catholic ended up getting the ball. They would, on first play, they would go 65 yards, but the quarterback would fall down. I don't know why he didn't try to score, because if he scores, it's a 2-score game. Bull County only had 1 timeout left, but the Covington Catholic decided not to score. Then it wound up benefiting them anyway because they ended up running the clock out. They got another first down, and they took a knee, and they ended up winning by, was it 3 or 4? Let me.
Yeah, it was close. But here's the thing: you were probably the only person outside of Covington Catholic fans that thought they could win, CJ. Because I'm going to be honest, Bull County was the overwhelming favorite. Everybody thought Bull County. I think they even engraved the trophy. They'll have to get it fixed because everybody assumed Bull County was going to win it. So, that's it. Now, I want to go back to a statement you made talking about that other company that streams. I don't like to mention their name, but here's
I understand
why. Okay, when we cover these games, CJ. That NFHS, I'll say it, has a deal with the KHSAA. So if we cover a game in the playoff, we have to send a link so they can upload it on the NFHS network. Mm-hmm. So anybody that streams any playoff game in the state of Kentucky has to send that link now. So they've used our feed on some occasions as well. So I don't like it. Because they're not paying the producer and the camera guy and the broadcaster and all that. But,
yeah.
Hey, it's what you have to do, I guess.
The final on that game was I'm trying to get it for you here. The 31-28 was final on that. Bullock County.
3-point win. Hey, but now hats off Covington Catholic. That really opens up that class.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. A lot of people think Corbin's got their backs against the wall going to Paducah Tillman. And listen, Paducah Tillman's is a really good football team. They're undefeated. They got the 1 loss of the year. Corbin, though, their passing game is going to be. I think if they can play any defense, I think they'll beat Paducah Tillman. Because first of all, Corbin's not afraid to go up there and play. Second of all, if they throw the ball. Listen, I thought that game against Ashland was going to be a close game. That game, Ashland stayed on the bus and went back home. because they would be close.
Corbin just dominated that game from start to finish.
Yeah,
so that really opened it up.
And you know what? I'm not. I don't know that. I would say Corbin's fans was like, "Bull County's going? What? You got to be kidding me!" You know, probably everything shit. Well, I say Corbin's practice this week on Thanksgiving Eve is going to be one of those. Hey guys, we can do this, and they can. Listen, this is the Corbin team. Tom Grew decided to retire. They get the coach from over Ohio or Virginia, where he come from, and you know he had mountain ties because he coached at Lawrence County and other things. But you know we got 3 mountain teams left. We got Corbin, we got Belfry, and we got Somerset. All 3 are on the road, and all 3 are playing. Technically, the teams that everybody's picked from the win, except for Belfry's playing a Union County team that's 13-2. They beat Hart County, who was 13-1 other night. Belfry's, they're not afraid to go on the road and play anybody.
No. Did you see that? I seen a fun fact posted. Belfry is close. Now, I don't know this to be true, but somebody posted Belfry's closer to Canada than they are Union County. So talking about in miles. So that is just insane.
It's a 5.5-hour trip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
I understand that they'll have to, they had to get permission Friday night when they won. They had to work on this yesterday. They have to have permission to leave school early. And, you know, the KHSAA granted them because they have such long travel. You know, they'll have to leave. Wow. I think they have to leave 11 o'clock, 12. If you're going to feed them, and let them, you know, rest your legs, I say you're going. Listen, I don't know if he does this or not. But he probably takes a charter bus, so he's going to let them be a little comfortable. But you're going 5+ hours to a place you've never played before, and you know it's just Corbin's never played at Paducah before, and I don't think that Somerset's ever went to Owensboro Catholic.
Yeah. And, let's go through them real quick, CJ. Let's go through each class. Let's start with one.
Here's who we got left. We're going to start from 1 to 5. We'll go 1 to 6.
Yeah.
Let's start with our mountain schools. That's why let's go ahead. Corbin's going to be at Paducah Tillman. Belfry's at Union County. Somerset is at Owensboro Catholic. Okay. Now the remaining teams from 1 to 6 goes like this. You've got Campbellsville at Sayre. Now listen, I'm really excited about this game.
That'd be a good one.
It's going to be a lot going on. So I'm actually rooting for Sayre.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Pennington kid.
You know Coach Pennington. You know his NFL background. He played with the Jets. He's had 2 great. Listen, that would be an unbelievable thing if Sayre could do it. Home against Campbellsville. Campbellsville's not. Listen, Campbellsville struggled the other night. Newport Central Catholic had them beat, and Campbellsville found a way to win that game. So hats off to them, but this is going to be a good game. Here's another good game. Raceland versus Kentucky Country Day. Listen.
I'm going Raceland.
If Raceland, they can't throw the ball. That's going to be their handicap.
Yeah.
If they can't run the football, they're going to get drilled because Kentucky Country Day can play. They're probably. I think they'll look. I was looking at defensively a lot of these teams. Kentucky Country Day is like second in Class 1A in rushing defense. So if they can't, they can't throw the ball. We saw that there against Hazard. If Hazard could have stringed anything together, they could have. It was 7-0 for the longest time till they finally was able to get bust open a couple of long runs and then did put the game away. So it's so big. Chris Rawlings left us a message telling you it is a big week in sports coming to the city. It is because there's a lot of basketball going on and everything. So you're right, Chris.
I like Raceland and I like Sayre, and then I'm going to go with Raceland in the upset. I think right now I really like how Raceland.
So you're gonna say your 1A final is going to be Sayre versus Raceland, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to take Raceland.
So I won't give my picks to the end of the show.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you my picks at the end. I'll give you all 6. I'll give you all the games. I don't usually pick games like I used to. I ain't done it in a couple of years, but I feel froggy. I think I'll do it. 2A. listen, here was the other monumental upset of the weekend. Lexington Christian went down to Mayfield. Listen, they just didn't beat them. They embarrassed Mayfield.
Wore out, didn't they?
I mean, 50. My scores they're not in order. They beat them 47-7. When was the last time Mayfield at home ever got beat that bad? Listen, Lexington Christian's a good football team. I'm not saying they're not. They played their schedule, their strength of schedule is like number two in the world in Kentucky football. Because they played everybody under the sun. So but Lexington Christian's gonna be at Beechwood. And I'm gonna tell you what right now.
That's
I think LCA has a great shot of beating Beechwood. If you can go to Mayfield and beat them, you can beat Beechwood.
Yeah.
But they can't let Beechwood jump out on you and take your confidence away. If you do, they'll drill you.
Beechwood.
I need this. If you get time, I need this looked up. I thought these two teams played each other early in the year.
I'll look it up.
I don't know if they did, but I thought they did. But I don't know. Okay, now 3A. And this team right here, I don't know. They're pulling a Belfry, okay? And when we say they're pulling a Belfry, a lot of people remember Belfry started off 0-5, sky's falling, things are not going good at all. Then what? Oh, whoops! They went out. They don't lose another game after 0-5, and they win the state championship. Well, Lexington Catholic thinks they must be Belfry because they went to Bale the other night and beat the Bobcats. And who I thought Bale at home, I thought they was going back to Kroger Field. And Lexington Catholic started off 0-6. 0-6, and they've won their last 7 games. Now, it's probably going to come to a crashing end. They got to go play the defending state champion, Christian Academy out of Louisville, who's got probably the best quarterback in the state of Kentucky. So.
Yeah, I think LCA. I think they run out of gas now.
They run out of gas. Now, here's where we're going to see if Covington Catholic is for real or not. Because a lot of people thought Franklin County was the one team that could beat Bull. Franklin County's coming in this game undefeated, 13-0. They're at home. They're going to play Covington Catholic. Now, listen, I think Covington Catholic can win this game. I seriously do.
I do too.
I think Franklin County is they're just in the same boat as they're in the same boat as Bull. They can't not overlook this team because this Covington Catholic team is very crafty and they're very capable of taking out back-to-back the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed back-to-back weeks. Crazy. Okay, 5A, you got and this is a misprint because I know this is not supposed to be happening. They have Bowling Green play Bowling Green. I don't know why that's not listed. Bowling Green is at home. I'll have to look that up. I'll see what Bowling Green is.
I got you, CJ.
But anyway, Bowling Green's at home. I can't remember.
South Warren.
Okay.
Yeah.
They play South Warren. And then Highland is at Cooper. Now, Cooper's unbelievable. But this is going to be a great game, too. I think Highlands is for real. I think Cooper's for real. This is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be the best game probably of the weekend. But now you go to the Big Daddies. And you know, if I was going to tell Thomas right now, we're going to talk 6A football with the remaining 4, he's probably going to tell me, oh, well, who's X and who's male play? Well, guess what, Thomas?
Not there.
They're not there. Because they were going in the semifinals of the region.
Yeah.
It's Frederick Douglass playing Trinity. Now, this is a rematch from week 5. Frederick Douglass lost. I think Trinity won by 10. If I was not mistaken, 24-14, I believe was final. This is going to be a great game. Listen, I think Frederick Douglass, when you play a team the second time, you always learn from your mistakes.
Yep,
this is the game, and I think Frederick Douglass is going to learn a lot. And Trinity didn't play very well there tonight. Ballard had them right where they wanted them, and then they let them get away. They let Trinity come back, and then they couldn't stay with them the rest of the game. And then here's a team that a lot of people are laughing at. Guess what? They're laughing at you too. Great Crossing is playing Rao. Now, If I was telling you Great Crossing's playing in a high school athletic game, you're probably thinking, well, this has to be basketball.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. They're the number one team. They're going to be the number one team when the preseason poll comes out in basketball. But guess what? They're in the semifinals of the 6A state football finals. And they play Rao. Rao, who upset Mayo and X. Okay, Now listen. Great Crossings had one of the best years in football ever. Ever. They've only been in school, 5 years now? And, of course, we know in basketball how good they're going to be in basketball. We know they're going to be the best team, they're going to be the best team across the board. They got the Moreno kid. They've got everyone the starters back. Everyone reserves back. They're even ranked them. They're going to be probably ranked in the nation. That's how good Great Crossing is. So they play Ryle. That's going to be at Ryle. Now listen, this is a good set. These are some great games here.
Oh, I think both these will be good ones.
Yeah, I would love to see Frederick. Me personally, would like to see Frederick Douglass, Great Crossing. That would be awesome because that would be something different. We've seen Trinity, we've seen Ryle, but probably we're going to get Ryle and Trinity. Now, Frederick Douglass knows they're excited to play Trinity games. They thought listen, when they play the regular season, they're not concerned with wins and losses because they know, hey, we're going to play Trinity. We're going to play Trinity again, so we're just going to prepare for them, see what they're going to run, and we'll stop that when we play them the second time around, which that's what we're going to see when this game comes now. And I'm going to warn everybody, guys, there is a way of you watching every one of these games. To the NFHA network. You can also go to YouTube. A lot of these games will be streaming on YouTube. So if you want to see a game, like I said, me and my brothers watched several games the other night. It was so cool. Because that cold weather, with that rain and that cold weather, I surely did not want to be out in that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, now I'm going to shift gears for 1 second because I'm going to blow Thomas's mind. All right, Coach Sayers could not probably make it again. He probably didn't get my message because I didn't email him. I was supposed to email him, so I didn't. And I apologize. I will try to get Chris on another show, one of the 2 remaining shows before we go up for 2025 or 2024. If not, I'll get him sometime in 25. So, because that was my fault probably. I should have emailed him like I usually do. I just went through Facebook. A lot of times when I'm getting my guests, I try to get them through Facebook or their message, a phone message. So, Coach, I'll get up with you. Now, I told everybody last week I was going to have my preseason top 10 basketball mountain rankings out. Got them. I got them right here in front of me. Okay. Listen, I agonized strongly tough today. I'm trying to put these together. Now, and if I left somebody out, listen, this is a preseason ranking. Listen, I looked at every team, who they had coming back, who many starters they had, and I just felt these were the 10 best teams in the preseason. Now, I'm going to be real honest. These ain't going to be the 10 teams you're going to see at the end of the season because a lot of these teams are interchangeable. Because now, yesterday, Prairie Central played Paintsville. And now, if you ain't seen Paintsville play, you need to. This is a very physical basketball team. They're 6-1 all the way across the board. And they're in there with Martin County, who's probably the favorite to win the 15th. So, or them or Pikeville. I think Martin County's probably the favorite. So, it's going to be crazy. But now I'm going to go girls first. Okay? And then you can tell me if I've lost my mind or how close I was or who should have probably been in there.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. I got number 10. I got the Lady Cats from Bell County. Because I had a hard time getting my 10th and final team in there because there were so many teams that were like close. So I just chose Bell. Number 9, I got the Harlan Lady Green Dragons. A lot of people like Harlan, but I know North and Knox Central are the 2 granddaddies over there. So, number 8, I got Knox County Central, the Lady Patriots. Of course, picking up the McLaurin's girl, I felt that they deserved to be in the top 10. big pickup. That's huge, and then a monster. I got number 7. I got the Paintsville Lady Tigers. I think Paintsville's going to be a big factor in the 15th region in girls. Along with Martin County, along with Johnson Central, along with Shelby Valley, and along with still, listen, she ain't there no more. Christy Orm is not there no more. But let me tell you what, they're still going to be Pikeville. And listen, and by the way, if you don't follow Christy on TikTok, she does some phenomenal work on TikTok. Her videos and stuff that she does for the TikTok shop, awesome. You need to follow her. Really do. She's great. She's really good. But I had Paintsville number 7. I got Shelby Valley, the Lady Cats at number 6. Got Southwestern at number 5. Johnson Central, the Lady Golden Eagles at number 4. I got Pikeville at number 3. I got Knox-Tailwick Central at number 2 because of Haley Collins, and they picked up 2 big acquisitions. One from South Laurel, and they picked up another girl from somewhere else. And then, of course, I got the Lady Jaguars in North Laurel as my number 1 team. So we'll survey that one first. I got North.
I like the teams. I would flip them. I think Johnson Central's the best in the 15th. So I would.
I had them. That's why I had them higher than Paintsville, and that's why I had them higher than Shelby Valley.
They returned.
I just didn't put them. I was going to put them over Pikeville, and I felt Pikeville had 4. They got 4 starters back, but that new coach is going to be the key to everything.
Well, but listen, I mean, you know, Christy Orm was a great coach, and I'm not taking anything away from against Christy Orm, but you replaced her with a Hall of Famer in my book, in Denise Campbell. I mean, goodness.
She's coach. She's definitely good.
I mean, you didn't drop down, so I think I agree. I think it'll be them and Johnson Central.
Do you think that I'd be pretty good there on those 10? Is that pretty solid?
I think so. Like I said, you can mix and match and move them around, but I think that's a good 10, CJ. I really do.
Because there might have been 2 or maybe 1 or 2 other teams I couldn't think of, but I know I was missing maybe one. I did have Mark County in there. I started putting him in over Bell, and I thought, well,
they could be there. They could be.
Yeah. Now the boys. This was hard because there's 6 teams in the 13th. There's 6 teams in the 15th, and there's I think there's 4 in the 14th.
Okay.
Hazard, Perry, Breathitt, and Hazard are the 4 in the 14th. I don't think anybody else can really play with them 4.
Who did you say? Say them again.
Hazard. I'm sorry. I'm the 14th. Hazard, Breathitt, Perry, and
No.
What? Breathitt, Hazard, Perry. Who am I missing? Wait a minute. I gotta look at my
look at your notes.
Actually, 3. Perry, Breathitt, and Hazard. Now, the 4th team would probably be not be 4th. Yeah, not be 4th. Because I'm high on Casey's team. We talked to him last week, and I'm excited about his team. It's just they're young. They need some game experience. But okay, here's my boys. All right. I got Perry Central at number 10. I felt that even though they did lose the big boy and the 1 guard, they still got a lot. They got 3 starters back.
They're solid.
Yesterday we didn't look. We shot the ball pretty good, but we just couldn't. Rebounding was an issue. Something I think they'll work on and get better at as the year progresses. Playing Paintsville yesterday was a great thing though, because it made them have to work on things that's going to make them better.
You got the big guy in Woods. I mean, he's a hoss, buddy.
Yeah. Number 9, I got the Bell County Bobcats. They got everybody back. They started off 17-0 last year. My question is, can they stay? I've looked at the schedule. I saw Coach Sizemore has beat it up more. So he's learning. He learned a little bit from, okay, I got to make these guys better during the regular season. We got to play better competition. And they are, because they play Corbin, they play South Laurel, they play all the good teams. And then, of course, there are a couple of big tournaments that play some good competition. They're playing the people. I want to see how good they really are. And then you got to remember, this is a sophomore junior bunch. They still only got like one or 2 seniors. I got Pikeville at number 8. Now, I had a hard time really putting. I didn't know if I was going to put him in my top 10. I was like, yeah, I think I will. Coach Justice seems every year he just finds a way to get in there. Number 7, I got Breathitt. I think that Breathitt and Hazard are, you just don't know. The 14th, you missed some free throws, you're going to the house. We saw that last year in the 14th region tournament. Prairie Central, was they the best team? On paper, no, but they were the best team playing at that time. If you're playing good at that time, that's why you're going to be successful. Yeah, I mean, and then that's why I had Breath at 7. I got Clay County at number 6. Even though they did lose a couple of seniors, they did get one kid back from Jackson County, and they got a pair of brothers that come back to Clay County. So I think that Clay County is still going to be a factor. I know Hardin County at 5. Listen, I know people's disrespecting the Black Bears because they lost Trent Noah. Listen, they got 4 starters back, and they got probably the best. The one kid that already signed with is it Wofford? Well, I can't remember who he signed with. I'll have John on the show in a couple weeks. But the key to Hardin County is the Cottrell kid going to be okay from his injury that he had during the summertime when he had the problem, and also can they stay healthy because they're going to have a young bench, but a great starting 5. Number 4, I got the Martin County Cardinal. I love Martin County. I think Martin County is the best team in the 15th. Question is, can they stay healthy? Can they stay healthy? Still high, majorly high.
I think that they beat Scott County yesterday, which was a big win. I mean, that was or Saturday. That was huge. So I'm really high on him. Who else you got?
Number 3, I got the South Laurel Cardinal. Jeff Davis has got a really nice team. He's got 4 starters back. He picked up a couple transfers. And this South Laurel team is loaded for bear, much like the team that's at number 1. Number 2, I got the Hazard Bulldogs. Now, I could have easily put Hazard at number 1. I could have.
I agree. I think Hazard.
But there's one thing that kept them from being number 1. And I put Corbin at number 1 because they picked up the 2 kids from one kid from Medellin, the point guard from that Medellin school, and then another wing, and they're 2 of the best players in that these guys have ever seen. So again, I got Corbin 1, Hazard 2, South 3, Martin County 4, Hardin County 5, Clay County 6, Breathitt County 7, Pikeville 8, Bell County 9, and Perry Central 10. How's that sound?
I can go with that. But I'm gonna say something. Hazard's. Have you seen Hazard's schedules? Let's just see how good we are day 1. How about that on defense?
Let's play Breathitt right off that.
They ain't running from nobody.
Let's play Breathitt.
Of course, let's play Perry Central. I mean, this is going to be some good basketball, right?
Let's see. Let's play Breathitt at home. Yeah. That's good. Oh, hey, let's play Ashland the next game.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Wait. I mean, and please, Hazard Bulldog fans, don't yell at me, but they could easily start out 0-2. Then those ain't cupcakes starting the season.
And then they play Buckhorn, and then listen, people don't. Then they play Prestonsburg in the open ground of the Mountain Classic, and then of course how many games they go in the Mountain Classic, and then on that, I mean tough, and. Whew. So, what do you think about my preseason?
0-2? No, they should win both those games.
Both at home. I like them at home.
But hey, anything could happen. Those ain't Cupcake City,
So, how do you like those preseason top 10s?
I agree. Again, I think you could flip some around. Mm-hmm. I think a team out of the 15th that a lot of people are overlooking is Johnson Central.
I didn't have it in the boys because I didn't know. Listen, I saw them yesterday. Their JV team blew my mind because they had some big kids.
Well, heck, they're all underclassmen. They're going to keep the same 5 probably for another couple of years. I really think they're going to be there. But I just think right now, honestly, and this is no joke, I think Martin County's the cream of the crop in the 15th.
Oh yeah, I probably could have made them a little higher. I put them 4, but I thought South Hazard and Corbin. They're just
you can't argue with those teams. I agree. Those are really good, solid programs.
Yes. So we'll discuss that more here in just a little bit. Now joining me, a great friend of mine, Mr. Charlie Pack, the head men's basketball coach at Kentucky Christian University. And Charlie, it is an honor to have you with us.
It's good to be here, CJ. Good to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you. Don't get to see you much because you're a busy man. I got
Yes,
to see you more when you wasn't coaching because you was out recruiting and getting your kids. And I see you once in a while when you're not playing. So, but this is your second year, correct? At Kentucky Christian.
It's my third year, but it's our second recruiting class. We got
Yeah.
the job like the day before the season started my first year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So.
People know, I know this for a fact. I've told people 100 million times NAIA athletics is the best sports to watch. Seriously. If you want to go a good entertainment day of basketball, football, baseball, whatever it is, go watch an NAIA game because you're going to see the Pikefors, the Unions, the Cumberlands, the Kentucky Christians, the Millikins. Those are schools that you want to look because these are good athletes that people just don't never talk about. And I'm looking at your schedule, Coach. I know you're 0-5, but look who you played already.
Yeah, we don't get too many cupcakes. Every game in the AAC is a dogfight. I know the scores don't really show it, but it's all been every game's been come down to a 4 or 5 minute possession. Yesterday we're down 1 with 8 minutes to go, and just 5 possessions really cost us the ball game. And we're extremely young. Yesterday we played one junior, 3 or 4 sophomores, and 2 freshmen. Majority of the minutes. So we're trying to build something here. It takes time. It's a process. And understanding that, like you said, NAIA level is a high brand of basketball, and getting guys out of the mindset you can take plays off just because a lot of times their athleticism and those type of things can save them in a high school game. You get exposed really quick at this level. So,
we talk with Scott Cornett all the time. Scott's one of my co-hosts, and I love when we talk to him about his Alice Lloyd team, who's off to a pretty good start, playing well. The biggest thing in NA, you got to stay healthy because if you ain't healthy, it's gonna mess you up. And I've noticed your schedule. I know that you didn't do this on purpose, but you played 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 straight road games.
Yeah.
That's great. That's wild because a lot of people like, okay, you mean his first 7 or 8 games, 7 of those are on the road, and they're all in a row. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's going to make you definitely going to make people notice real quick.
Yeah, it's tough to get people to come to Grayson, so our conference schedule was cut a little bit short this year. We used to have 24 games. It was cut to 20, so we had to fill in some open spots. So, we knew Campbellsville and Lindsay would be a great test early to see where we were at, and took those 2 games on Mid-South opponents, probably top 3 conference in the United States. NAI, I think they had 3 teams in the Sweet 16 of the NAI championship last year. So, if you want to compete at this level, you want to play the best and see where you're at and see where your program needs to go, and that's how you kind of recruit. The specific needs that you're in. Now, next year we're going to a different conference, so you'll see the West Virginia Techs, the Rios, the Shawnees. We tried to pick up some of those schools, so we need to see what type of kids we got to recruit for that conference because every conference can be a little bit different. So it's going to be a really good move for us overall. The competition is still going to be really, really good, but our longest bus trip on the east side will be about 2 hours. And so from a financial and student athlete standpoint, it makes perfect sense for us.
You besides your conference games, you got a game coming up December 15th that is going to really test your patience and your kids. You go to Moorhead, and but we know why that you do things like this, and we've talked with other coaches. You play teams like this to be able to help other programs in the school because they pay you nicely to come play, and people know that. But the money you make from them type of games really help other programs like maybe archery or football or other stuff. That's not, but for you guys, it's a game. You get to play against a Division I opponent, and your kids, they're going to remember that for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, we try to play 2, 3, 4 of those games a year. We usually try to go 2 one year and 4 the next, because it does help us out financially. It helps our guys get more gear and all those type things. But it also lets our guys see where they stand. That, everybody thinks they're Division One and all those type things, and it lets you see there are levels to it and all those type things as well. So it's just it can be very challenging at times, but it can also make you better if you allow it. So
Yeah,
we got to really take those games and watch a lot of film afterwards to really the things we talk about being the little things of how those Division One teams just execute those things just out of habit, and those are the habits we're trying to develop as well. So it can be a great learning tool as well.
Yeah, I was talking with Moorhead State's football coach because they played Villanova this year in football. Villanova's not, they're they got paid good to go play there. They played Eastern. They got paid good to go play there. Those are games that you want to play sometimes because you get an opportunity to get the school some money that they can use for other things. Just like you said. So it's so important for that. I did notice that. That on your schedule too, you play Pikeville later here in a couple weeks. You're going to go down there, and I know you're going to play Union later this season. Union usually always has a solid team. I think one year I remember Kentucky Christian. You wasn't the coach then. I think you were. I think it was a couple years before you was coach, but they come down there one night and you had a really good team, and they had a really entertaining game. It was like 90-88, some of those high scoring game. I was like, wow, I can't believe this is such a high scoring game. And I was really entertained. But
last year down there was a highly entertaining game as well. I think they ended up pulling away by 12-14, but 5 minutes to go, it was a tied game. And, we've come a long ways. Still a long ways to go in the process. We feel like if we can keep the group we have together, get them back as juniors and sophomores, and then bring in the recruiting class that we're trying to bring in, that we feel like the program's really headed in the right direction. So,
and there's a lot of good players out there too, Charlie, to recruit from. And I know you're out there strongly trying to get those athletes to come to Kentucky Christian. I'll ask you this question after Thomas asks you a few, because some people may not know where you're actually located or some other things. So I'll let Thomas ask this question. I got some after that.
Well, I was just going to talk to you. Got a couple good games coming up. I looked, obviously, living in Pikeville, obviously I know about you, Pike, and got a lot of 15th region talent on there, and they're really making some noise, but I'm excited. How do you match up with West Virginia Tech? That's another team that's very, very, very good. I got to see them not too long ago as well.
Yeah, they're solid. We've not really started our scout on them yet, but they will be really, really solid. Their point guard is really good. I watched them play last year some. They're always well coached and all those type things. But Pikeville's going to be really tough. Hopefully that'll be – our point guard has been out these first 7 games as well, so we're hoping to have him back early December. I wouldn't say point guard, but he's lead guard, I should say. But
yeah,
he's a difference maker. He was all freshman team last year, averaged about 13 a game for us. And the last 2 games, we've had one of our other freshmen out that was just coming off his best performance. He had 22 and 8. He just got a little injury, so hopefully we'll get him back sometime in December as well. And like CJ said, just 1 or 2 injuries can really put you a little bit behind the 8 ball because you got to fill in some voids, but it can also make you grow as a team, and hopefully that experience will help us down the road. So,
yeah, absolutely. Like I said, with him, your point guard coming back, that'll be a premier matchup because let me tell you what, Ken Warwick gets after it, Coach. I mean, and I know you've seen him, CJ, if you haven't seen this kid, let me tell you what, I had the pleasure of coaching him one summer, and that was just an absolute, that was a coach's dream right there. He's incredible. But I checked your roster out a minute ago, and the board is there from the Ashland area. He came and played in our All-Star game a couple of years ago. Hey, CJ, that kid can play, man. I'm really impressed with him.
That's the kid that's out for us right now. So.
Oh, okay. But let me tell you what, he's
you definitely need him back in the lineup, Charlie, because
definitely.
he's really good.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He was. I think I think that was the year we went down there and played the National Invitational, and he had a dunk that was so. I mean, he made that guy look so embarrassing. It was just. I said, "Oh my lord!" I said, "This guy, he needs to be skipping high school and just going to college." He's so athletic. I mean, he was.
He's quick. He's quick as he changes the pace of the game for us a little bit as well. And, we want to play with a lot of pace, and he helps speed the tempo up just a little bit as well.
Definitely. So it could be a couple good games in that time period. Because West Virginia Tech, like I said, and then you got UPike. So I think I'm gonna go watch that game. I've got it on the schedule now, CJ.
And that game is scheduled for December 4th. It's actually in a couple of weeks here. So you'll have to go check that out. Coach, some people may not be familiar with Kentucky Christian because a lot of people are some of these schools are not very familiar with if you don't know them. If they know the Unions and the Cumberlands and the Pikevilles and the schools like that. But sometimes we get the schools that are in Kentucky, like Lindsey Wilson, you guys, they don't know where you're located or they don't know much about your school. So take a little bit to explain about Kentucky Christian, where it's located, what city and town, and how they can come check your team out because it's worth the admission to go watch any NAIA basketball because I love it. It's awesome.
So we're in Grayson, Kentucky. We're about 20 minutes west of Huntington, West Virginia. We're right on the tri-state border of West Virginia and Ohio. Probably about an hour and 10 minutes east of Lexington. So right off we are literally right off 64 though. I mean, you get off the exit and you can actually see our football field from the highway. So we're right off 64. You're 15 minutes into like Boyd County area where there's some entertainment, 20 minutes to Ashland, 25 minutes to Huntington, and like I said, about an hour from Lexington, 2 hours to Columbus, 2 hours, 15 minutes, and about 2 hours from Cincinnati. So it's a very good location. We are a Christian school. Our kind of motto is Christ, character, career. We do have chapel every Tuesday and Thursday. That it's not a class, but it is a pass-fail that you have to attend so many chapel sessions per semester. And then we are in the IA program that currently participates in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. And next year we will be moving to the River States Conference.
Have you ever played Alice Floyd? I know not since you've been there, but did Kentucky Christian used to play? Have you ever played them?
They have. They've had some battles. We're back on the schedule for next year.
Oh, good. I want to come to that game. Where's it at? Will it be Alice Floyd or will it be a Kentucky Christian?
We're going to do a home and away, but we're going to come there and play in like a classic, like on a Friday, Saturday.
Okay, yeah, I would love to see that.
And then they're going to give us a return home game that season as well. Because next year we cut down to 16 conference games.
So how many? Okay, you talk 16 conference games. People probably going to ask you then, is that all the games you get to play? No. How many non-conference games can you play or tournaments? Like a Christmas tournament or something, if you want to, because I know sometimes kids, we see high school teams all the time go to Florida, South Carolina, because Christmas tournaments before and after Christmas is what really is the bonding foundation for teams for them to have a great time and be with each other and how does college do that? Because a lot of people may not know what they do for fun as a bond as a team.
We get 16 conference games. We'll have 12 non-conference games and then 2 exhibition or scrimmages, whichever you prefer, which is where we usually schedule 2 of the D1 games in that. So last year, right after Christmas, we went to Wofford. Right before Christmas, we went to Wofford and played maybe the 28th, 27th. Then we drove on down to Charleston Southern and spent a day at the beach and just
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
hung out.
There you go. I like that.
Done some of that and practiced there at Charleston Southern, played them, and then drove on back to Grayson. So that's kind of how we always try to do one trip. Like this year, we're going right after Christmas back to Wofford. We couldn't get another game down there, but we're going back there. And to be honest with you, that's probably the best defensive team we've ever played.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking going back there, um, but we'll have it'll be another challenge, and it'll be right before conference play starts back up. So hopefully it'll give us a little test and they can show us some stuff we need to work on for about 7 days and get back at it back in conference play. I think we start back up January 7th. So.
And also the other question I probably have, and a lot of people is interested in, when do you get time to recruit? Because a lot of people think, well, these coaches don't get a lot. Most of your recruiting times when you're not playing, but now you can find time to. Because I've seen you at other gymnasiums and tournaments during the Christmas break and stuff like that. When you give your team off, but explain that to people because they may not understand that.
Well, obviously the summer is huge. We attend AAU events. I really, really have fallen in love with the thing they do at Collins because it gets a lot of Kentucky kids. We're trying to recruit the state of Kentucky a lot harder, and it gives us Indiana, Ohio kids there at the live period. And then we hit Phenom, Big Shots, all that. And then I really try to take advantage of the fall leagues. So we have a pretty good connection in Florida, and here in Huntington Airport, we can fly pretty cheap to Tampa. So around August, into August, 1st of September, I'll make a trip to Florida and catch a lot of basketball games, fall league, high school games. I like to watch. I like AAU, but I really like to see guys in the high school setting where they're actually running sets and how they play defense and body language and all that type stuff. You can kind of lose sight of that sometimes in AAU. That's why I've really fallen in love with the event at Collins. And then, throughout the year, if we're off and there's local talent that we're really recruiting hard, we'll try to catch some games. And then when our season ends, we hit every regional district tournament that we can hit, especially where kids that we're recruiting are playing. And we've been to Bowling Green. We come to the 14th.
Yep.
We're hoping to get up to the Zip Zone Classic here on the 30th. And so, it's just, you just got to plan your schedule out and know the events. We go to usually hit the Lexington tournament up there at Lexington Catholic at the Christmas break. So you just got to use your time wisely and get out and recruit as much as you can and develop relationships and plugs. We call them plugs, but it'll help you recruit and those type of things. And that's very crucial in what we do.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you one thing. We get parents all the time. What's the one thing? Obviously, they got to have talent. I mean, I get that, but what's the things that you look at when you're recruiting a player, other than just their ability on the floor?
I mean, the main things we look at, is can they guard their position?
Yeah,
that's huge. And then too, I mean, it's kind of cliche, but we're going to watch body language, how you interact with your teammates, all those type things. And when I first got here, we had a lot of kids that we still miss the boat on one or two. I'm not going to lie. We have to get rosters of 25 to 30 people because we have a JV team as well. And we'll miss the boat a time or two. But one of the things that we've really done is we want every kid to come to campus. And we want to see you live, and we want to get you to campus because, one, we want to see how you interact with our guys.
exactly.
And two, we want to see if Grayson, Kentucky, it's not for everybody. It's someplace you can see yourself for 4 years. And by doing that, I feel like the first two classes we brought in, I feel like our community that we have built is really, really strong. A lot of people talk about culture. We talk about community because when I say, I have kids from Inkster, Michigan, Greensboro, North Carolina, Dallas, Texas, Tampa, Florida, and everybody comes from a different culture. In high school, everybody's kind of in the same area, kind of brought up with the same background. But in college you have so many different, so you have to be able to adapt to different cultures. And so what we do is we're trying to build a community that people want to be a part of. And then within that community, we set our standards, expectations, our values, and all those type things. But to create a community, one, winning does help a little bit, but we want to
Absolutely.
create an environment where everybody feels loved and valued. And we feel like if we do those things and we get the right people in, and the vision of our program is to build a championship level program with championship caliber people. And so, like you said, what are we looking for? We're looking for high quality people who can also play basketball.
I say it all the time. It's all about character.
Yeah.
It's how you handle adversity. A good friend of mine says true character shown through tough times. When a player makes a mistake, how do they act? And that's what I preach all the time. And exactly what you're saying. It's about community. It's about fitting in. So, and I know from the 15th region, we've had quite a few people down there this summer visiting Kentucky Christian. I know we've had several players down there.
Yes. And it's just, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but it's just, you're talking about adversity. That's the very conversation we had in our locker room yesterday. I take a lot of pride. This is my Kentucky, is what I tell my guys. This is my dream, was to coach college basketball. So, and right now we're facing adversity, and we told all of our kids when we recruited them, like, it's going to be a process. We're going to have some lumps. I mean, when you're freshmen and sophomores, and this is kind of the end of the COVID class right here, so you're playing against a lot of grads and seniors, and so it's going to be tough. It's grown men versus young men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we kind of talk. Like, you're going to get knocked down, but can you get back up, and how you respond? And I think the only way I know to respond is get back up and keep working harder and harder. We're going to keep pounding the stone, and hopefully at some point it'll crack. So.
Oh, absolutely. And you've got some great players. Looking at that roster, out of the local talent, you've got some kids that can play, Coach. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm gonna be in attendance on the 4th. Check you guys out.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, anybody out there wants to go to a game at Kentucky Christian, just get up with Coach Pack. He's on Facebook. They have go through their directory. He should be able to help you bring your team down there if you want to come watch a game, and take you probably through the facilities and show you what's going on. And I know a lot of basketball teams love to do that during football, basketball both. So please do so if you want to go check them out. They'll be playing again on the 26th. They go to Milliken, and then they don't play again until December 2nd, when they'll play West Virginia Tech. Those were actually home games, so he's going to get to play at home. That'll feel different. He'll be like, wow, we get to sleep in our own bed and get to be in our own gym.
White jerseys, right, Coach?
two really tough opponents. I just finished up watching. So we finished our grading out our film from CIU yesterday, and started our scout for Milligan, and they're really talented too. So it's another tough test. Like I said, every game in the AAC is a tough test, whether it's on the road or at home, or it's 5-10 possessions that can determine if you win or lose. So,
well, I just want to say one more thing, if you don't mind. People really need to get out and watch NAIA and this AAC basketball.
Yep.
My son was a senior in high school and he got injured, and of course he's dating a cheerleader at the college, and he said, take me to Dad, I can't drive, take me to the game. And I graduated from UPike years ago, but that was years ago. And I went to a game, and it was one of the most electric atmospheres I had seen in a long, long time, CJ. So, I want to put the plug out there. If you haven't been, go to one of these small colleges, one of these local NAIA schools. You are going to see quality basketball.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's going to be entertaining.
We had Ashland out last year to watch race, and they had never really been out to a game, and they said we didn't realize the level of basketball that was.
No. And some of these schools, I've heard of Kentucky Christian, of course, UPike, the Alice Lloyds, but some of these other schools I'd never heard. They can play as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. So, and I tell a lot of people it's D1 talent. It's just 2 or 3 inches smaller. Instead of the guard being 6'4", he's 6'1", or he's 6 foot, or 5'11". The center, instead of being 7 foot, he's 6'7", 6'8", 6'6".
Yep.
But the talent level's not much different, you know.
I agree.
100%. Well, Charlie, thank you so very much for coming on. You're a great guy, good friend of mine. You know, you got a lot of people supporting you, and we want to see you do as well as you could possibly do at Kentucky Christian. And, you know, anytime that I see you out recruiting, I'm going to stop by and say hello to you. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And hopefully you come back again, and we'll talk about your team again.
All right. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me. Always good to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you down in the 14th at some point this year.
Yeah. Okay, Charlie. Thank you so much.
Good luck
to you. Good luck to you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Charlie Pack, the head men's basketball coach at Kentucky Christian University. You know, he's going to be a dandy, Thomas. Charlie knows the game. He knows how to recruit. You give him about 2 or 3 years, he's going to bring Kentucky Christian right there where they need to be. Here's another dandy guy besides you.
All right.
This is one of my favorite people ever. He's been a co-host on the show. He looked tickled to death at being at East Jessamine, and I'm just glad he's back head coach again. John Bentley is with us. Coach, it's an honor to have you always here on the CJ Howard Show.
Definitely, CJ. I wouldn't miss it for the world, man. Blessed to be here. You always do a fantastic job of covering sports in Eastern Kentucky, and you know, I just every time I'm on here, you know, every second counts. I enjoy every second of it.
Oh yeah, we love you. You're a great guy. A lot of people know John from Eastern Kentucky. Of course, he goes to Estill County, some other stops. Of course, last year he was at Madison Central for the season. I'm only talking a little about that because that story is a really cool story because not too many people do you find that was wanting to be an assistant coach, really work on. You know, I'll let you tell you a story, but so every time I hear that story, I get, you know, I feel like that this is one that more people should learn to follow if you need a path. But John's, of course, now the new head basketball coach at East Jessamine, the Jaguars. Great landing spot, I think. Perfect. He's in the 12th region, and he's in a pretty solid district. You know, he's got West Jessamine over there, Mercer County, Somerset Christian. Are they not this? Huh?
Trinity Christian.
Yeah. I knew one of the Christian schools. I couldn't remember.
You're on it.
Yeah, and then there's one more school, Bergen. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a 5-team district.
Yeah, but John, people know you, so I don't really need to go back to a long time. But how you been? How's the family? And how are you fitting in at East Jessamine? I know they love you. They have to because there ain't no other way not to like John Bentley.
Well, we have 2 little ones at home, almost 2.5 months old, and obviously 2.5 years old, and 8 months old, and time is just going super fast. ever since we were welcomed Ellie, our oldest, into the world almost 2.5 years ago. But you know, my wife Emily as well. You know, we're working. We're blessed. You know, we're you know, life is, like I said, it's going by pretty fast. But we have her mother, my mother-in-law, father-in-law are close by to help us watch the kids, you know, child care. So that is just, you know, extremely big.
Yeah,
you know,
big time.
But I love my family. You know, I got a really late start to the game. You know, I didn't get married till I was 37, and and I didn't. Well, really 39. Sorry, I didn't have my first child. I was 42. So that's one thing that, you know, that was God kind of waited for His timing on that on that. As far as that goes, but at East Jessamine right now, first year there, we have 9 seniors on the roster right now, CJ. So, 9 seniors, and we have we have two freshmen, Tyson Duke and Carter Wolf. We're going to build around Mile Jones and Keelan Daniel are the two top returning leading scorers that we were fortunate to have back for 1 year, a guard and a forward. And Jarius Henderson is another guy that provides a spark for us, super athletic, very wiry, very good around the goal, lockdown defender. Probably one of, if not, will be our leading rebounder from the 3 or 4 position. So we've got some pieces, definitely. We lack size. That's one thing that going in I knew that we wouldn't have, and we would really have to, get the ball up and down the floor, press a lot, do a lot of control press, do a lot of a diamond press, and get the game going up and down. Really, I think that would be to our favor in most games. Looking at going in on our schedule, we have a real challenging schedule. We host our own Christmas tournament this year, 18 Christmas tournament. We just got finished with a 14-team panorama, a JV and varsity that we hosted at our middle school and high schools over the past this Saturday of this past weekend. It went very well. So just trying to really just run the program, run it from the ground up. I've talked with the middle school coach. I've not been able to attend a game yet. I've not had time, and I'm just my health. I'll be honest with you. I've had a back operation a while back, and I'm still recovering from that. My foot, the inflammation in my foot. I'm just trying to. A lot of times in the evenings, I need to go home and rest. But it's kind of hard for the little ones. But like I said, we're a blessed mess, and we wouldn't have it no other way.
Yeah. Yesterday, you were talking about the panorama. You had, I believe you had John Noble in the building, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
I saw that. He posted the schedule of yesterday's games, and I looked down and I said, well, John Bentley just didn't let John Noble in the building now. But you guys had some good teams there yesterday. You had Les Kelly was there. You had Jessamine. I'm trying to remember everybody was on the list. But it's good to see these panoramas that went to JV varsity. A lot of them was just varsity. Now they're doing JV, and I think it's really good for the younger kids because it gives them an opportunity to play too. They don't have to go and sit there and if they don't get in, at least they get a chance to play. So I love that.
Yeah, I mean, if we had the space and facilities and get a little more manpower, I would have done freshmen. But sometimes they just seem to get lost in the mix, especially freshmen. Once your season starts, we've got over 20 freshman games scheduled right now, and from my experience, we'll be lucky to get 15 in, because of weather, and a lot of times a team will drop a game and you'll have to put a date, and that date may be on a freshman date that you have. There's a lot of things that are out of your control, a lot of factors as far as that goes. But going into it, I had a JV freshman in mind. I never thought of just having a varsity only. I was able to go over there and watch a lot of the JV yesterday. I probably watched more JV than I did varsity. But there was some good ball. Teams are well coached. The style, we were going up and down. A lot of the games were, the teams are pressing and really played a lot of very aggressive half court defense. The varsity game I did get to catch was Model and Leslie County. Chris Evans is over at Model in his second year there. He's did a really good job last year, and he's got a real good team this year. They're going to be very competitive. He's just a great guy, knows how to get it done, loves the game. He's been on the AAU circuit for a while. He's got a lot of experience from that aspect. But with Coach Noble yesterday, it's always a pleasure seeing him, and exactly what you're going to get when you watch his teams play. And every year it seems like that program is taking a step forward. I'll probably say a small step forward, and as long as he's there at the helm, they'll continue to do that. There may be some years where they kind of stay in the same place, but as long as he's there, that program will not take a step back.
The hacker kid is unbelievable. He can shoot it. I mean, he can. I mean, he played football, and he really helped him in football. And I told people, I said that was the best thing in the world for Jaden to play football, because anytime you can play two sports, it really helps you, especially if you do football, basketball, or baseball, football, or track football. It helps you tremendously in speed, eye coordination, stuff like that. So, but it really helped Jaden because he I don't know. I think he tied the interception record this year for most interceptions this season. And this is only like the second or third time he's ever played football. So he was unbelievable at corner. So yeah. But yesterday, did you feel you do panoramas, being honest, you're trying to raise money for things you need, stuff like that. And it was a good day of basketball, good day of camaraderie, meet some of your former coaches and teams, get a chance to see them. But is there something bigger in the future if you want to do? Because I know coaches, they always have this mindset. Oh, this went really well, so I want to make this better next year. So let's do this, let's do that. What's your mind frame of that? Of what you're thinking?
Well, going in, in the first year, I have never hosted when I was at Estill County for 11 years. Unfortunately, we didn't have a tournament. Ever since Brian Hall's been there, they have the Engineer Classic there, the Railroad. I think it's called the Railroad Classic. 8 teams, does a fantastic job. One of my favorite brothers on the earth, and they do a great job there. But now, my first year at East Jessamine, I just thought it would be a good idea to do that. And they had never hosted an 8-team tournament there, a Christmas tournament. And I don't know as far as the panorama goes, but having 13 other teams there made it a long day. But also, we'll probably add in. They had the Jaguar Classic. It was just a one-day deal on Saturday, and they had X amount of class, I think, or 4. We'll probably try to add that in going in the future. There's guys across this part of the state that I know and I keep up with that I try to emulate. Jeff Davis at South Laurel is a good example of how a program should be ran. He does at least 4 or 5 different types of classics tournaments, whether they be 1-day deals, 2-day deals, whatever. And if you watch his teams play, and I've been over at South Laurel multiple summers now.
He's got a big panorama coming up Friday.
Oh yeah, and it's
JV varsity all day. So yeah.
But that's somebody that if I was going to sit down and take notes from, it'd be Jeff Davis, and not just that, and watching his teams play from a philosophical standpoint and an X's and O's standpoint. The guy just gets it, man. He's been in it for a while, and they're probably, this is the first time in a long time that they've been favored in that region. You know how rugged and tough that region is, and it should be it's always interesting, especially when it comes down to tournament time. And heck, they had Harlan County, if I'm not mistaken, they had them on the ropes.
They had a beat, and Harlan County found a way to win it. Then you learned so much last year from one of your best friends. You decided to go the assistant route after you had coached. You said, I want to be able to rest a little bit. I want to be able to learn from one of the best coaches that I know, Coach Feldhaus, was one of the greatest guys I've known. A great family background. You chose last year to do that, and you said that was the most humbling experience you've ever had, and you learned so much from him and his staff, and now that you got the job at East Jessamine, you're able to take a lot of that stuff that you learned from him and build it into your program. Talk about the impact that Coach Feldhaus had just in the 1 year you were there and what it took. Because a lot of people wouldn't do stuff like that. They would say, I just sit out and just sit at the house. You chose to do this to make yourself better, and you wanted to learn, and I just love that when you tell me about that. So tell me just about Coach Feldhaus and what you learned from him.
I was fortunate. A PE job opened up really, really late. One of the gentlemen there that taught PE got an admin job at Clark County, and like I said, I saw that, and my eyes kind of lit up because I know Mr. Brandon Fritz, the principal there. He and I are the same age, and we pretty much know each other since high school. But even when I was at EKU and he was around Richmond and played at Lee University, we got to talk locked in. We established more of a relationship. So I applied a lot of jobs in Fayette County, couldn't get an interview. And there were some other places that offered me head coaching jobs that just I didn't think were the right fit for my family and myself. Yeah. And but I applied for that, and I went in, and he offered me the job that same day. And I talked to Coach Feldhaus pretty much before I applied for it, just saying, hey, mind if I help you out? And he said yes, of course, and but his assistant coaches are incredible. Jared Pite and Daniel Park, Kenny, he had been there for so many years. Kenny Roberts, 40 years as an assistant coach. He just all the IQ and the basketball acumen, the passion that they have for the game, the competitiveness. They check off every box. So I learned from all of them. But with Coach, one thing I liked about Coach Feldhouse is every day in practice, he would come out with a plan. And it was, an hour and 30-minute practice, pretty much to the T. There was 0 seconds downtime. Every second was accounted for. The clock would go up. We would have 7 minutes on a drill. We would go through it 7 minutes. And, there wasn't a lot of blips on the radar. I mean, we would get through it and go on to the next drill. I'm trying to run practice now, and I've not got one practice right. I'm telling you, far behind. I always get behind. It's a joke with my assistants, Jessamine, whom I gravely love to death. I've got 4 coaches there: Chris Pittman, Stephen Baber, Richard Long, Richard Bubba Long, and Peyton Cody. They're fantastic people, and they have, without them right now, I mean, it would be disastrous. We're trying to find our identity right now. But getting back to Coach Feldhouse, he would come in practice every day, and he would have so much joy just for practice. And he did, like he said, he didn't miss a beat. Everything. I mean, the guy just never makes a. I mean, he's on top of everything every second, and I'm like, that's what a state championship, 900 win Hall of Fame coach, that's how they go about their business, I think. But I was thinking practice, how he ran practice and his drills, just how precise, how in depth, how to the everything in the last minute detail, everything was accounted for. That's kind of what I probably taken away from him. But a lot of people have asked me, and I'm sure that you've heard, when's Coach Feldhouse going to retire? When's he going to retire? And I'm like, I think he's got another 10 years left in him. And I'm like,
I believe that. I promise I believe that.
He can stay there as long as he wants. I mean, he's got his support and he's earned it. But I enjoyed it there so much. He was so good to me. He was so good to me because I had, for my health, I had to attend a lot of physical therapy and the procedures and stuff I had to go through for my back, and he was so gracious and never raised an eyebrow or was never, it was never in doubt. Like, hey, go ahead and take care of what you need to do, John. So.
Yeah, but you couldn't. That opportunity, it just come in your lap, and that was the opportunity God put you there because He wanted you to be. He wanted perfect. I mean, He wanted you to be there. Thomas, you got some questions for Coach? I can talk. Listen, I can talk to this guy all day. That's why I love having him as my co-host sometimes because we can spend 2 hours, and I probably won't even need a guest because me and him can spend 2 hours talking.
There you go. Hey, just looking at your schedule, you open up against Scott County. What are we going to see when you finally tip it off for real against Scott County? Scott County's always a perennial powerhouse, right?
Yeah, they've lost a little bit of that luster. Great Crossing coming to town is kind of they'll be top probably 10, 15 nationally ranked teams this year. But with Scott County, Steve Helton took over there. He had been coaching there with the girls for a long time. Incredibly knowledgeable. They couldn't have found a better hire. Somebody who knows the program, who gets it, who knows the kids. The kids know him. I already watched them already. They played after us in a preseason game the week before last week when we were at Bourbon County, and we played Ryle. And after that, they played, and I watched them. And they're small like us. They're very similar. They've got a little bit more depth as far as their top 3 or 4 goes. If that makes sense. From a statistical standpoint, but they're going to play hard. You've seen a kid with a Scott County jersey on, they're going to guard you hard, whether it be in full court, run and jump, or 2-2-1, half court trap, or just get up in you mano a mano in a phone booth, man-to-man defense. They're going to do that, and they did that. This was like I expected, and it should be an interesting game. Teams with similar styles, I think, as far as personnel goes. We'll be pitted against each other on that night at our place. But we're doing a freshman JV and varsity triple header, so we'll kind of get to see showcase all three teams in our home opener, and we're fortunate to be able to do that. And we don't get to school to 3:50 every day, so we got to kind of squeeze it in and do what we can. But that's our first game. Our two panorama games are over with, and we found a little bit out about ourselves. We've already spliced up some game film. We're going to show the kids tomorrow before we do our strength session, before we go and lift weights for about 45 minutes. So it's exciting, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
To be back, excited to be back in the, as a role as a head basketball coach. But the most important thing is, God put me, at East Jessamine to help these kids.
Yeah.
Show
That's awesome, Coach.
and be a role model. And man, I want to win that first game as bad as anybody. I really do. But man, once it's over, it's over. We're going to wake up next morning and sun's going to shine on Nixville, Kentucky. It's just,
Yeah.
but we're prisoners of the moment. We like to compete and play when it's that time. But when it's over, there's going to be a lot of other more important things that we're going to, as a coaching staff, we're going to stress and emphasize and reemphasize as time goes on there.
Well, and then you got on the 20th, you got the pre-Christmas tournament, so to speak. You got at GRC. You play GRC, so
yep, that'll be
a big one.
Oh, Coach Cook didn't do us any favors.
What was Coach Cook thinking? What was he?
But any other way, Josh is as good as a coach in the nation. I mean, guy just knows how to win, and he loves the game. He eats, sleeps, and breathes it, and I don't think he'll ever change. He'll always be like that. His passion is at that high, and his IQ and just his ability with X's and O's and stuff. And I've seen him in action. I've been able to see him before I coached against him. The 2 years I coached against him when I was at Montgomery County, they were rated the nation both years. So, but yeah, excited to be there at their Tim Short Classic. That'll be a 2-day deal. We played them the first game, and I'm looking forward to it. Always playing their arena. We get to take our kids there. And we're also going to take them up to the Mike Murphy Classic at Mason County in the field house. So probably playing in 2 of the top 5 venues in the state of Kentucky. Maybe the top 2 of the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
For
our kids. Looking forward to it.
Well, that's awesome. It's awesome.
He's also going to learn, Thomas, about the East-West game. And real quick, do you learn that this is one of the most competitive, most wild atmospheres in the history of time?
Heated, right?
I've watched film on them, and I've heard how they talk, and there's a lot of scuttlebutt going around there. A lot of talking. Very small. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, the gyms are very small.
Yeah.
But that's going to bring you back to some good old basketball in the mountain days when you had Garrett playing Wayland and Hyman playing Carr Creek, and I don't know if I'll go back that far. But
we talked to Casey last week. They're getting ready to do a big game at Wayland in January. We're going to go back where the old uniforms. They've done a lot of work on the Wayland gym. They're going to make Wayland gym the one of the. You've been going around these gyms that's been iconic and making them.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're going to do that. Everything's supposed to be an unbelievable thing. So, yeah. I have 3 more questions. I'm going to let you go. 12th region basketball is a lot different from any basketball that you're going to face. Different from 13, 14, 15, anything. Because there's some people don't understand that this is a very competitive region. One of the greatest coaches of all time is no longer in this region. Don't want to get into that details. I still think he was. I think he still should be coaching today. And we're talking about Rodney at Wayne County. Yep. But we got you're not the only new coach in this region, and that's going to be a little bit different because this region, from what I've seen, a lot of preseason rankings. There ain't a lot of. There's a lot of teams over here that a lot of people like. Lincoln, Garrett, you guys have been mentioned. Pulaski, Southwestern. A lot of people like them. Rockcastle County has been highly thought of. But talk about your first experience here in the 12th, because you've coached in the you've coached against the 13th, you've coached against the 14th, you played in the 14th. Tell me your thoughts of coaching here in the 12th, because it's a lot different. Smaller gymnasiums, I mean, it can get wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been just a very from top to bottom. The top 5, 6, 7, 8 teams. There's not a lot of difference in them. Lincoln and Pulaski, I think, have an advantage of hosting the region every other year.
Yeah.
Boyle County is always, once they get their football players out, you know how that is, and they're always.
Well, that's different this year because they're not used to getting them until late December, but they're going to get them. They're going to get them tomorrow morning.
Who would have thunk it, right?
Listen, I thought Cubcats could play with them. I didn't know if they could beat them or not because I didn't think they could, point to point with them. But they showed Friday night they could, and they found a way to win it.
That controversial play right there where Quisenberry, his knee, I don't know, it might have been down. I don't know by looking.
Yeah, but the call they made was actually, it didn't go to the end zone. It did definitely go to the end zone. And I heard about that. That knee has come up. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, the 12th region basketball, there's some good ball there. People don't know that, and it don't get enough coverage. And that's one reason why that I cover 12 through 16 because I want to get everybody in there that don't know much about these regions.
Yeah, they there's a lot. There's a lot of great coaches there. Guy that took over at West Jessamine, his name is Steve Adams. I don't know if you remember when he was at Boyle County.
I've heard that name. Yes, I have. Yes,
made a run to the Final Four. It's been 7, 8 years ago, probably now.
Yeah.
He got a lot of experience. He's a veteran coach. John Fraley at Pulaski County. He comes from, what kind of background he comes from. He's came a long time, and just by default, you already know what he's going to bring to the table. And they're going to be able to host that region. They're going to be able to. I think they got some of those kids from Wayne County. I'm not sure. I think a couple of those kids. I don't know if they're still there, but Dunbar does a fantastic job there. He's going to have a big team. I think they're going to be a team, kind of a sleeper team that can really open some eyes. And maybe halfway through, they may look to Southwestern number 1 team in the region.
I know Danville Christian was the team last year. A lot of people loved them. What's your thoughts on them? I know you play them the third game of the regular season there, and that's going to be a rowdy place too.
Well, first off, I don't know who they're going to have. Once we find out who they're going to have, we'll probably be able to have a better idea of what we'll do against them to try to beat them. But yeah, going over there, I've never been to that gym. It should be interesting. Lincoln County, you can never count out Lincoln County.
Nope.
They've got one of the greatest coaches in the state of Kentucky, in the history of the state of Kentucky, and Jeff Jackson.
Yep, exactly right.
You know what he's done before, and so I can't wait, man. I can't wait to coach against those coaches and go to their venues. And I've not been to Lincoln County. I've been to Pulaski. I've not been to DCA. I've been in Boyle once or twice, but there's some places I haven't been as a coach, and I'm really looking forward to that. But it's going to be one day at a time. We're really trying to get our kids to buy in in trusting the process of what we're trying to instill in the culture there.
Yeah, no question about it. And you got them out of school playing in your tournament. Harlan, you play them. That's going to be fun. Coach Cal coming to town. Coach Cal's one of my favorites. I like Coach Cal. He's a character, and Harlan's still going to be pretty decent. Yeah. They're not going to be bad in the 13th. Listen, a lot of people count them out, but don't you count Harlan out because Coach Cal's going to find. He's got his lead scorer back. He's got a couple other starters back. I mean, don't count them out.
When I matched them up, I knew it'd be a tough game. They're on paper. If you put them up, player for player, they'll be maybe some of the top 3 or 4 teams in that tournament. I don't know that for sure, but they were the last team to commit to it, and I remember I was very thankful for that because you always wanted to find that last 8th team, and there's a couple teams that dropped out on us, and we were fortunate enough to grab Wayne County and another team, to refill that 18 field, but everybody's coming. Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be an exciting time. Everybody's guaranteed 3 games, of course. And
that's cool. That is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like anything that guarantees you 3 games because a lot of schools won't go play. A lot of schools won't play for less than Because they're going to say, "Can we have three? If you're going to play three, yeah, we'll commit. But if you're going to give us two, no, I don't think so. I need three. Kids need to play. They need and a lot of them you're going to get a lot of people that's going to stay in hotels and things in the surrounding area. So that's going to help the economy. So I mean, it's just going to be a win-win for everybody.
I know some teams, some tournaments have done 4 games.
Wow.
Jessamine County, we played 4 games. Matter of fact, we played 4 games in 3 days there. And I'm pretty sure Lexington Catholic did that, 4 games in 3 days a while back.
And a lot of teams are doing JV down Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm seeing more of that, CJ. I agree.
A lot of these tournaments say, okay, well, we're going to have a Christmas tournament. What's up, JV? Bring your JV with you. Bring your JV with you. Especially if they're going to Florida and South Carolina and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You're taking everybody with you now. And they're, JV's getting play, varsity's getting play, so it's win-win for everybody. But anything else you want to ask, Coach? Thomas?
No. I listen. I'm excited. I don't know a lot about East Jessamine, but hey, the schedule looks fun to watch early on, so we'll definitely keep up with you.
It's definitely going to be challenging. A daunting schedule for sure.
Coach, you know how much I love you. How much you're just the best. Anytime that I need you on here, you'll come on. I might need you in January for a co-host. I got to have you for a couple hours. I'm gonna have to bring you on. We need to talk some other sports besides basketball.
Yep.
But tickled to death for you. I'm so excited for you and your family. East Jessamine was a great place you landed. And they're just going to love you. They're going to love you to death. And I just can't wait to follow you all season. And then I'm going to keep up with you every game and see how your record is and see what you're doing. And then, of course, I'm going to holler at you sometime in January. And once you come on back with me and spend a couple hours with me, and we'll have some good old time. But you're just a blessing in disguise. You're one of the best, and I want to wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Buddy, same to you, brother. Love you.
Love you, John. See you later.
Right,
Mr.
buddy.
John Bentley, the head basketball coach of the East Jessamine Jaguars. He's listen, he's a great guy. Listen, you want to meet somebody, that's your type of guy you want to meet. John Bentley. Now with us is Armando Berry. Hello, Armando. How are you doing, sir?
What's going on? Good evening. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing well. Can I say something? You won't get mad?
Nah.
Well, I don't think you get mad. Somebody sent me a note last week saying they had a hard time hearing us when we were commenting. So because they said you kept cutting out, and I couldn't. There was a couple times I didn't get to hear exactly what you said because I was wanting to really hear you. I know your internet's a little rough there where you're at, so I just was. I know it cuts in and out on you. I know you can't help that. Listen, I have the same problem here sometimes.
I'm coming at you from the mountain phone tonight. My personal phone that's used to Texas, but I'm coming at you from the mountain phone tonight. So hopefully it'll be a little better. Sorry to the
we can hear you a lot better.
A lot of people want to know your thoughts. They don't know. We want to hear we want to know what you're thinking. So we can't miss it. We can't miss a word that you're going to tell us. All right, we're going to start with football, but I'm going to start with the one thing that you didn't think we was going to start with. I need your thoughts on the Boyle County loss and what you think about that.
Man, that is crazy. My first thoughts after that was maybe it's Corbin's year.
Yeah.
I told Thomas that earlier.
Maybe it opens it up.
Maybe it's Corbin's year. Because, Corbin's looked good. And the one person that's always spoiled their fun in the playoffs has been Boyle County, and they're home. So
they can start basketball practice tomorrow.
I don't think they'll be starting basketball practice.
We got 3 mountain schools left. Corbin, Somerset, and Belfry. Of the 3, who has the best opportunity to get to Kroger Field?
Corbin, Somerset, and Belfry.
I think Somerset's got the hardest one.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Somerset, I feel like they're the ones that they beat Prestonsburg. They're gonna have like the biggest level of competition difference. I think their next opponent will be vastly different from the first two people that they faced, going from the mountains to some of the higher teams in 2A. I still like Corbin. I think they're a very strong team, but I like Belfry as well. I want to say Corbin and Belfry. Those teams I'm the most confident in. But if I had to pick, I'd probably say Corbin. I'm gonna go Corbin.
Let me go back over here and let me get my scoreboard up from last week because there was some. I mean, it was entertaining to see some of the stuff that went on because, you go. Listen, me and my brothers, we got together, got pizza, watched the majority of a lot of the games. You can watch about every one of them. We watched the Boyle County ending. We watched the Hazard game. We watched some of a lot of the Pikeville game. So what happened to Bale? That was the one team I thought. I just don't think they could lose at home. And then Catholics has proven everybody wrong again. I don't know. But what happened to Bale?
Yeah, with Bell, that's the one game that we didn't get our hands on here in the mountains. But from what I saw on Twitter, I believe they were up, I think 8-6, or they were up at the end of the third quarter. And I didn't get to see what happened in the fourth. But absolutely, that's mind-boggling. It's hard to believe they lose at Long Mountain. But I didn't get to see that to do. I haven't gotten much info on that. That's one of the few ones but that's a tough way to end your season, certainly.
Oh, definitely. We thought about Boyle County losing that Quisenberry kid. Of course, he's a UK commit, going to play at UK. That's a bad way to end your last game as a senior. A fumble and it goes through the back of the end zone. He probably had to be heartbroken after that game was over.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially for them being four-time defending champions. That's insane. That's just insane. I think that was a game that a lot of people speculated that Boyle was going to win, probably easily. But all credit to Covington Catholic. They have not had a news fest. They went a really good Johnson Central team the round before, so I feel like they've probably been really tested. It showed against Boyle. Boyle trying to make their resurgence. Just, every good team can fight back, but being able to take that and then still being able to win the game was very impressive. Very impressive.
All right, now like we said, we only got 3 mountain teams left, but some of these other games are not going to be too bad on the schedule. Let's go over them real quick. You got Corbin up in Newton-Tillman. You got Belfry at Union County. Still don't understand why they're going to play there. That's an unbelievable drive for Belfry. Somerset goes to Owensboro Catholic. We got Campbellsville at Sayre, Raceland at Kentucky Country Day, Lexington Christian, who destroyed Mayfield, absolutely made Mayfield look like a grade school team. They play Beechwood. Lexington Catholics at LCA, or Christian County in Louisville. Covington Catholic go to Franklin County. South Warren's at Bowling Green. Highlands is at Cooper. Frederick Douglass is at Trinity. And Great Crossing, who we think of basketball but not football. They're in the state semifinals, and they're playing Ryle for a chance to go to play at Kroger Field.
Yeah, I believe the Great Crossing coach, I believe he is a former South Laurel Cardinal football coach. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct. You are correct on that. Yes, I had forgot about he was the coach there.
Yeah, I was going to give him a little shout out on I didn't end up getting to 6A in our little countdown scoreboard, but I remember I was going to give him a shout out if they had wins. So good for them, former South Laurel Cardinal.
I figured this week when you do Sports Overtime, you'll be giving all the scores probably because
not that many left.
No. Okay, let's talk a little basketball. Now, I'll go back to Kentucky football and basketball in this moment. But I'm going to give you my preseason top 10s. And I told you I would do this week because I wanted you to – I always like to see your reaction. I like to see how you – because when I done my football to you, I loved your reaction because you felt that I did pretty good. You said props because you felt that I'd done better than I probably thought I would. But now Thomas thought I'd done pretty good here.
Okay.
He thought I'd done pretty good. All right. These are the girls. These are my top 10 preseason girls teams.
Girls.
All right. This is girls. I got Bell County at number 10. I got Harlan, Lady Green Dragons at 9. Knox County Central Lady Patriots at 8. Paintsville Lady Tigers at 7. I got Shelby Valley at 6. Southwestern at 5. Johnson Central at 4. Pikeville at 3. Knox Central at 2. And North Laurel at number 1.
Did you say Corbin at all?
This is girls.
Did you say Corbin girls at all or no?
No, Corbin's not in the top 10.
Okay.
Here's one reason why. They lost 3 seniors last year, and they lost 2 of their sharpshooters. I don't know how good their younger kids are. I do know they do have two starters back from last year's team. I know that they're still highly thought of in the 13th. But I feel like that I had a hard time between Bell and Corbin. I just chose Bell.
That's fair. That's fair. Bell does return a lot of good pieces. I think with Corbin, man, I think that, and it speaks more to the 13th region as well.
Yeah.
That's so tough. They're going to be so fun to watch. But I think when you think of Corbin, North Laurel, Knox Central, South Laurel, and Corbin, those are all teams that are really, really good. I think Kylie Clem gives me – if Kylie Clem wasn't on the team, I probably wouldn't have as much confidence in them. But I think her on the team I do because she was just dynamite. We got to watch her. She was fantastic in the WYMT Classic last year. I think she's going to be a fantastic player again. We got to interview them before the season. She kind of talked about how, hey, we're going to be a little bit younger, but we're still going to score. No one's going to kind of expect it. Like you said,
Yeah, I agree 100%. Listen, that's a great analogy because I think that nobody thinks about the Clem girl because I forgot. I thought she was a senior. I thought she graduated. I didn't know she was back. So that I would probably have a little bit different thought there. But all right, now the boys. And I know. Listen, there's a lot of great boys teams out there.
boys.
There's most of them's in the 13th. The majority of the teams are in the 13th. Okay, but now here's my boys. Okay, at number 10, I got Perry Central. I got Bell County at number 9. I got Pikeville at 8. Breathitt County at 7. Clay County at 6. I got Harlan County at 5. Martin County at 4. South Laurel at 3. Hazard at 2. And Corbin at number 1.
Really?
Uh-oh. Really? When I get a really, we're going to hear. Here we go.
I just think it's interesting. You have a lot of different people. With Martin County, I feel like they have almost the similar situation as Corbin, where they graduated a lot of their players, didn't they?
No, Martin County had a couple seniors last year, didn't they, Thomas?
Yeah, but they reloaded. They've got a transfer in that can really ball.
Okay.
He may end up being the player of the year in the 15th region.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they're for real. They're really good.
Okay, I remember we got to interview them. I didn't do it personally, but I'll have to look into that. It's very interesting.
They did lose a lot last year, but they still got some talent.
I was like, who else won?
Their top 5 is good. After you get past that, how does the bench react? They're going to be really young there, so that'll be the question. It's in foul trouble.
My bad. I was going to say, the 2 teams, it's funny because no one mentioned the 2 teams that had, with McGoffin County, they won the 15th last year, but I kind of understand because the team was Aiden Barnett. He was like the Mountain LeBron James, I like to call him. But I thought Johnson Central, I believe they were the finalist next to McGoffin. But I thought, man, they bring a lot back, and I believe his name is Austin Sloan. He's their quarterback, and he's also like a really, really good player as a freshman. I think he's a player. And
Thomas told me that. He told me that when we was talking about this earlier. And I told Thomas is that I had a hard time interchanging between Bell and Johnson Central because I probably should. The reason I put Perry in there, listen, the run they made last year was unbelievable. They got most of their starters back. They do lose Castle. They do lose the other starter. But I felt like Perry deserved to be in the top 10. For Bell, they started off 16-0 last year, if you remember, Armando. And I think they're going to be better this year. They got everybody back. They're playing a tougher schedule. I think they're going to be just a lot better team in the 13th. But I didn't Johnson Central will probably they'll no doubt crack my top 10. The question will probably no doubt in my top 5 before the first week of the season ends or second.
They've got a lot of talent. They're just real young. That's the thing. Sloan's he's a rock star. Let me tell you what, he's a player. I agree.
My question with Bell though, they did go 16-0. Remember, we had a situation where we had a pair reach out to us, and they're like, "Well, why haven't we talked about Bell more on WYMT? Why hasn't Bell got more notoriety?" But in that 16-0 streak, they were playing very below 500 teams. Now, like you said, they're playing a tougher schedule this year. I think that is where we'll see a litmus test of like, okay,
oh yeah, no question about it.
Good team. Because last season, look at that 16-0. Not all those teams were great compared to other teams who were facing and having 13-0 streaks and whatever. But I think Bell, like you said, they return up like that's. We haven't gotten to talk to them in the preseason, to WYMT, so I haven't gotten like a deeper dive. But just from looking at the roster, they keep a lot of good players. They had some good ball handlers that were very impressive last year as well. And I think in their district, it'll be a lot more competitive. District, I want to say 49 or something, but with Harlan County, Harlan lost Kyler McClendon. They're going to have some rebuilding to do. So I think Harlan County and Bell County make that district very interesting. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about it. And you know what? I think the one team that nobody's South Laurel and Corbin and boys. I can't wait to see their game because these are two of the best teams in the mountains, period, regardless. They've got solid athletes all the way around the board, especially South Laurel. They're unbelievable. They've got 2 kids that can jump out of a gym. The 13th region boys and girls, you said this last week too, Armando, that's where your best basketball's at. Seriously, because everybody over there can play, girls and boys. Now, in the 14th and 15th, you got about 4 teams in the 14th on boys, about 4 teams in the girls. Then in the 15th, you got about 5, maybe 6 teams in the boys, and about 4 or 5 in the girls. But not in the 13th. You got a whole list of teams that can play from top to bottom on boys and girls.
I think because with Corbin, they were a senior-led group last year, so I know they'll keep the kid Petrowski, his son. But who else are they returning on their team besides? Because I think most of your starters were seniors last year. Whenever I got to go over and interview them, because I know Akins was a younger Akins or Atkins. I need to make sure I say that right. Ryder, Akins, or Atkins. Mm-hmm. He was a younger player on their team. Petrowski was a younger player on their team. But most of the other stars were seniors. So that's where my question would be with them. I think Hazard is a team where, they're in the 14th.
Yep.
But I wouldn't want them to get drawn out just because they're in the 14th compared to the 13th where it's more teams that are, highly competitive in the mountains. But I think Hazard has a chance to be, I think the best or the second best team in the mountains because they didn't have a senior. They kept their team that was already one of the best in the mountains last year. So
and they added the Beverly kid.
Okay, interesting.
The kid that played at Prairie Central, he's at Hazard now.
Okay, that's cool.
So it makes these Hazard even more stronger.
We talked about Hazard's schedule to open up.
First 2 games.
Brent County the first game, and then Ashland Blazer the second game.
I plan on going to the Breathitt County games. I saw that on night 1, and I was like, wow, that's how you open the season right there.
I think we're going to be there too. So it's going to be a great game.
It's crazy. Okay, let's talk a little UK sports. I'll let you go because I know you got things to do and people to see. Football. Listen, they were competitive yesterday at times. Listen, this season's been a lost cause since South Carolina. Okay, now let's see one thing forward. You got the senior day, you got the rival, the Governor's Cup on the line. You know you're not going to a bowl. My question is, how many of these good players play in this game? How much do they care? And where are we going after this game's over? Because the one thing I'm concerned with is listen, Louisville's a good team. And Louisville's already a 6.5 point favorite already early. I understand that. Listen, I understand that. But you better have pride if you're going to play in the Governor's Cup this coming Saturday. Because if you're not going to go out there and put it all on the line and you ain't going to give no effort, then I don't think we need a new administration. Because this game means more. Listen, this is like a bowl game. They need to treat this like this is the bowl game of the year. The Governor's Cup is everything. And if you ain't willing to put out and give your best effort in your final game against the one rival that you know that you don't like you want to beat, then we need new coaches.
Yeah, I think before we just breeze past it, let's all remember who Kentucky's bowl chances was ended by, right? It was ended by
Auburn ended the Kentucky's bowl chances.
But the team that beat them last week was Texas, and that's where I'm from. So I had to give my home state a little shout out. So
that's okay. That's okay.
Didn't mean to press on old wound right there, but I just had to mention I am from that state, so I can vouch for them. Anyways, with Kentucky Louisville, that's gonna be. That's just one of those games that is going to be fun to watch because you just don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a good rivalry to watch. I haven't been keeping track of most of Louisville just because we've been keeping so much.
Louisville looked good. Listen, yesterday Louisville looked good. They destroyed Pitt, and I think Pitt's a good football team. They took Pitt to the woodshed. I mean, they just did some. I mean, they took the plum out of the game.
I think this game with Louisville, it's a very morale game because what do we really have to play for if you're a Kentucky player?
The Governor's Cup, yep, rights to the Kentucky. I mean, to be the best team in Kentucky, the Governor's Cup. It's all about. Listen, they're not going to a bowl. That's not what this game's about. If you don't win that Governor's Cup, you've not accomplished anything. Seriously.
Right. Spoken like a true native Kentucky. But I'm saying, as a player on the team, how are they doing? They've been beat up and beat down all season. They've already been shown they're not good. This is their last chance to do it. I mean, if you look at all those losses on the road, Florida, who else they got? Tennessee. Every time after the loss, they do this pan shot on Barry and Brown, just sitting there with his hands down like this, looking like he hates life.
Yeah,
they're miserable.
Well, you know what's bad is when your coach does it.
Oh, well, Stoops, he always looks like he.
Coach Stoops looks like the world is
over.
Yeah. He's just.
But and then the funny thing is, one thing I've been seeing the chatter amongst BBN on Twitter is people have been going crazy for Cutter Boley. They're like, man, take out Vandergriff. We want to see Cutter.
Yeah.
Sure. So I wonder, he has been getting more and more snaps as in the final three-game stretch. Stoops said he's been cussed. I had it. We had it rolling sports overtime. I had to bleep it out. I'm trying to bust my what.
Yep.
About winning. So we'll see. But he'll have to rally the troops more time. But if you can't, though, if you get blown out by Louisville,
Lord, that would be awful.
A very sour taste in your mouth heading into that, and that would be first two.
All right, couple basketball questions. I'll get you out of here. So far, the UK men, I think they're overshooting how they're playing. They're playing great. I love Coach Pope. I love this team. Listen, I know we're going to lose a game or two coming up, probably to opponents. But this team, I love the way they play together. They love to play with each other. I've never seen a Kentucky team that wants to play together, especially never when Coach Calipari was here. But Coach Pope's got them wanting, and they're so passionate about being out on the floor for the fans.
Everyone loves throwing a little punch to Coach Cal, rightfully. I just noticed everybody in the comments after a win is like, man, we beat Duke so much better than we would have with Coach Cal. I first, because I have no dog in the fight. I'm not from Kentucky, but I enjoy the pettiness of it. But right now, of course, we're in the honeymoon phase. They are a Kentucky. Like, the biggest thing about them is not the NBA talent. It's not being number one pick. It's not being this lottery pick draft. It's not being collected 5-star freshmen. They are a Kentucky team. Win. That's what's going to make the fan base happy, make the players good. That's their rallying cry. We're Kentucky. That's what fan base like this really. But as good as they are, and they are a really good team in my opinion, they are playing cupcake games. Jackson State, I was in App. The games are over by halftime. I don't have to show a single play from the other team because it's over. But I think they'll be undefeated. What they're 5-0 right now. They'll be 6-0 against Western, 7-0 against Georgia State. As long as they take care of business, of course.
Then they got 3 games in a row there. It's going to be tough for them. They got Clemson, North Carolina. I'm not North Carolina. They got Clemson, Gonzaga, and Louisville.
I was gonna say they won't have to challenge, so they go on the road to play Clemson. They go on the road to play Gonzaga, and then they play Louisvil. That'll be a fun game. Ohio State.
Yep.
That's into the because right now everything's just we're learning a little bit more about ourselves. They're blowing everybody out. They're cupcaking. So it'll get real here in a few. Probably,
Well, like I said, they'll probably lose Clemson. I wouldn't doubt that they'll lose Clemson. They may even lose to Ohio State. But if they do, they're going to learn from it. They're going to get better and make them better. So, and you know what? I've already saw in these tournaments that they're having so far, some of the SEC teams that we think ain't very good are much better than what we think they are. Georgia, Georgia's for real, folks. They beat St. John's today, and I didn't think they had a chance. St. John's pretty good now. Coach Rick Pitino, he's got a nice team down there. And Georgia looked really good today because I watched a lot of that game when I was watching that and the Cowboys game with the Commanders. So,
Cowboys game?
I did. I shouldn't have admitted that, but I did. South Carolina women getting beat yesterday. What do you think about that?
Wait, say it one more time.
South Carolina women getting beat yesterday. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that was. I didn't get to watch it, but I saw the tail end of what happened. That's crazy. But everybody can be perfect all the time.
Nope. This was a bad weekend for teams that were perfect.
Yeah.
If you were perfect, you would listen. Yesterday in football college, 4 teams probably destroyed their season. Alabama, BYU, Indiana, and Colorado. Probably everyone destroyed. Alabama, they're done. They're finished. There's no way they're getting in with 3 losses.
I was up late watching the A&M game.
And they lose to Auburn. I bet they beat Texas this coming weekend. Watch them beat Texas.
You think so? I'm excited. As a Texan, I'm so excited for that one. I'm watching it from Kentucky. I think now that Auburn game was a good game because they're down.
It was a good game. Auburn played hard. I mean, you give Auburn credit. Listen, Auburn. A lot of people has been down on Auburn because the record's not very good. But listen, they went in there yesterday, took care of business, and they go double overtime,
4 quadruple overtime.
4 overtimes. I'm sorry, I know what they went to.
But yeah, that Texas A&M game, you don't have to be a college football fan. You don't have to be a Texas sports fan for that. You can be a college football fan. That rivalry hasn't been played in years, and it's so high stakes for a trip to the SEC title game. And it's like 98. I don't know when's the last time they've ever been in the SEC. I think it's the first time ever. So it's going to be fun. Very
well, and you know what's crazy too? That Georgia has to go to Georgia Tech. So you got both Tennessee and Georgia both. They have to win to be able to meet in the SEC championship. And the scenario is if they both lose, you have a 5-way tie for the SEC regular season championship. It'll have to be determined by I think the non-conference game of schedule or something. That's what I understand. That's what I've been told.
You think about the Big Ten. They've got so many teams that their strength of schedule is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost one game, but their strength of schedule is ranked 112th or something.
Yeah.
Do you think they deserve to be in the playoffs?
Ohio State and Oregon do. The rest of them don't.
Well, that's kind of my thought. You got Penn State, who hasn't played hardly anybody, right?
Indiana's not played nobody. Listen, the Army and Navy story are great stories because of our military, and we salute our military. But when they play good teams, they get exposed. And Army got exposed last night because Notre Dame's really good. Notre Dame deserves to be in the top 12.
Notre Dame really played great teams. I guess that's my thing with the SEC. They beat each other up.
Yeah,
you're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to knock a team that deserves to be in the playoffs out because they're going to have 3 losses.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I hope I'm right on this stat. I looked it up. Auburn they got 5 wins. If Auburn upsets Alabama, they'll be bowl eligible.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game next week too. The Iron Bowl, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be better now since they beat Texas A&M because that wasn't one of their – Kentucky and Texas A&M was not 2 wins that Auburn was supposed to have. So, Auburn just set themselves – listen, we got Vanderbilt's bowl eligible. South Carolina's bowl eligible. Look, there's 2 – Mississippi State and Kentucky are the only 2 teams that are not going to a bowl. Well, Auburn has to beat Alabama to get bowl eligible. But – if Auburn don't, then we have 3. But if they do, everybody but Mississippi State and Kentucky goes to a bowl. Ole Miss losing yesterday to Florida was just destroyed Ole Miss because listen, Ole Miss and Texas A&M and Alabama yesterday probably kept them out of the 12 playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oklahoma loss is pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. Oklahoma, are they bowl eligible?
I don't.
How many wins they got? I'd have to look that up. I don't know. I thought they had 5, but they may only have 4. But all right, sir. This is awesome as usual. You are the man. I will talk with you again next Sunday. No, I will not talk to you next Sunday. You get the week off, okay? Because I'm not having a show next week. I will see you on December the 8th. It will be my next show because I'm taking next week off because of Thanksgiving. People's traveling. I want to give everybody an opportunity to spend time with Thanksgiving with your family and things. By the way, I want to say a very happy Thanksgiving to you, Armando, to you and your family. And I hope that you enjoy your turkey and everything. And I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well.
Armando, you're the man. I will talk to you on December the 8th.
See you next time. Y'all have a good one.
That'll be the week of the Mountain Classic, by the way. All right. Now, I did tell Thomas that I would pick these games. So, Thomas, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. All right. You ready? Okay. I'm going to save the mountain games for last because they're mountain schools. I like to do that last. All right. Campbellsville, Sayre. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be I think Campbellsville jumps out early, but I think Sayre's at home. I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to wear down Campbellsville. I think it's a close game. I ain't giving scores, so I'm just going to give it. I'm going to take Sayre. I'm going to take the Spartans to go to Kroger Field for the first time in school history.
I agree.
And I think they beat Campbellsville. Kentucky Country Day against Raceland. Where Raceland can't throw the ball, I just can't take Raceland. If they could, listen, Kentucky Country Day, if they're at home, they're going to control the clock. It's going to be a tough battle. I have to go Kentucky Country Day. LCA at Beechwood. Listen, what they did to Mayfield last week was impressive. Can they do it 2 weeks in a row? you're asking a lot. That's like coming to Cassidy. You're asking a lot from them. I can't go against Beechwood. I just can't. Anybody else, I probably would have took LCA in this spot, but I have to go Beechwood. Lexington Catholic at Christian Academy Louisville. The Cinderella story comes to an end. I think Christian Academy Louisville actually going to win this game pretty big. They're just too athletic, too strong. Catholic's been hanging on a thread each week. Listen, they play good football, but they run into a major wall here. I take Christian Academy out of Louisville. Come to Catholic at Franklin County. I love this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Franklin County knows, though, they can't look ahead. Defensively, Company Catholic can play with anybody in the state defensively. This game is so hard to pick, but I'm going to go with Franklin County just slightly. But I want to go Cubcats so bad. But I think you're asking them to beat 1 and 2 back-to-back weeks. That's going to be extremely hard.
Okay.
South Florida, Bowling Green. South Florida's had a good year. They've gotten better as the season progressed, but Bowling Green at home is just too strong. I like Bowling Green. Highlands at Cooper. This is going to be a good game. I think Cooper's pretty good. Cooper's, I think, one of the best teams regardless of class. Cooper's strong at opposition to the field. I think it's a close game for a little while. Then Cooper busted it open. I'll take Cooper. So, and then Greg Cross against Ryle. Listen, Greg Cross has been a great story. No pun there. But yes, I got to go with Ryle. Ryle's just going to be too strong for him. Ryle beat Mayo, beat X. They beat everybody. They deserve it. I tell you what, though, Frederick Douglass at Trinity, I'm going Frederick Douglass. I just think Frederick Douglass is going to find a way to win this game. And I think they're going to end up in the 6A championship game. Now our 3 mountain games. All right, Somerset and Owensboro Catholic. Listen, Somerset's had a great year. They start off slow. Listen, Owensboro Catholic, everybody thinks they're going to win 2A. I think they are going to win 2A. I think they go up there and they play hard early. I think they keep the game close early. But I think they just are not got enough to win this game. Travel and everything's going to be tough on them. I have to go to Owensboro Catholic. Belfry at Union County. Listen, I'm not worried about travel's going to be tough on Belfry. This is going to be a good ball game. Union County's a good football team. But listen, I'm not going to pick against the Philip Haywood team. I'm going to take the Belfry Pirates. I think Philip Haywood and the Belfry Pirates are going to go up there, pull the victory, and they're going back to Kroger Field. And then Corbin and Paducah Tillman. Listen, Corbin just got new life when Boyle County got eliminated because I think Corbin, with their passing game, can really affect Paducah Tillman. I think they're going to wear them down. I think they'll eventually put them away. I'll take Corbin to beat Paducah Tillman. So, my matchups, the games I'm picking. Did you write these down? Then you'll send them to me later. I'm going to have Souder taking on Kentucky Country Day in 1A. I got Owensboro Catholic versus Owensboro Catholic will take on Beechwood in 2A. I got Christian County out of Louisville playing Belfry in 3A. I got Corbin going to take on Franklin County in 4A. Or 3A, Christian County. 4A will be Corbin and Franklin County. 5A will be Cooper and Bowling Green. And 6A, Frederick Douglass and Rowell.
All right. We'll see.
We will see. But I've been wrong before.
And that's why they play the game, right?
That's why they play the game on the field. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody who was here tonight. I want to thank everybody that watched. I want to thank everybody who left comments. I want to thank all of our guests, Coach Pat, Coach Bentley, and Armando. Coach Sayers, I will get back up with him. We'll try to get him on a later date. I know that I should have done a better job of trying to get communication with him, so I will do better. I will not be with you next Sunday night. I've decided to take the week off. I'm going to, because of Thanksgiving weekend, people's traveling. I want you to spend time with your family and your loved ones. So I will be off next week. But I will be back in 2 weeks on December the 8th for episode number 14 of the CJ Aaron Show. I've already got 2 guests. We're going to have Thomas. We're going to have Troy Thomas with us, assistant coach from Ashland. Everybody knows Troy Lee. Troy Lee's a great guy with character. We all know him well. He's going to be with me. And John Henson's going to be with me. We're going to talk a lot of basketball where he does a lot of work for the Cats Balls. He'll be able to give us everything we need to know about the upcoming season. And I don't know my co-host yet because I don't have one. I've been trying to find one. I'm still working on that as well. Now, I want to take this opportunity to show everybody this right here. Jake Collins, a good friend of mine. If you saw my post there on my Facebook, he done a very special thing for me, and I'm very honored to have this done for me. Listen, I'm not worth this. I'm not worthy of this, but he made this trading. Well, okay, here we go. Wait. Okay, this trading card. There's one side, and then, of course, the other side. It's a little bit different. Everybody sees that. Jake, I want to say thank you so very much for the trading card. I appreciate that very, very much. And that's so special, and that means so much to me. Thank you so much, my friend. Want to say also, last night we had a great night of wrestling at Hazard High School. What an event AMW Thanksgiving Tournament War Games was. Thomas knows about these things. We had a great event last night. Kyle Maggart and them pulls out the win the War Games. But now, still a lot to go on. Stay tuned on amw.com or Facebook or Twitter or TikTok. They'll let you know when we'll be back again. Let you know when the next event will be and everything from there. But it was a great night last night, and it was a great show. And I want to thank everybody that was there. We had the Godfather, Bobby Blaze, Hall of Famers, Jimmy Walls, Bobby Blaze, Coach Steele, Eddie Browning, and, of course, Stan Lee. Then we had an unbelievable War Games match, great match. We had some other great matches. We saw several great winners, and it was a great night to be with all the people there. Packed house. We loved it. It was awesome. Can't wait to have our next event. And you guys keep following us. We'll let you know when that next event will be. Also, go to my Facebook page. I want you to follow the CJ Harris Show page. I want you to follow it. I want you to let everybody know about it. I want you to let everybody be a part of it. Also, I want you to go to my YouTube page. I want you to subscribe. I want you to follow me over there. Follow me on TikTok. If you don't do that, please do so as well. Okay, Thomas, give me your final thoughts, and we'll get out of here.
Hey, can't wait. Football, a couple more weekends of football, but then the round ball gets kicked off, and I can't wait. A lot of good games on tap. So, as I always say, if you can't go out, be a part of the environment, support your local schools. But if not, D&D Sports will probably have it covered. So,
somewhere along the line, D&D will have something that you will be looking for. Listen,
that's exactly right.
And you need to follow the D&D. They're a great follow. They do tremendous work, and they're special in my heart. They're special to everybody. So please follow them as well. Let me see. Want to remind everybody I'll be back with you December 8th with the next episode of the CJ Harris Show. This is CJ Harris, running third, heading for home. And as Casey Casey would say, keep reaching for the stars and keep your feet on the ground. This is CJ Harris saying, so long, everybody. I love you. Happy early Thanksgiving to everybody out there. You enjoy your time with your loved ones because they may not be around and you may not be able to tell them that. I love you all. God bless you. And I'll see you in 2 weeks on December 8th for the CJ Harris Show.